The name Il-Port Al-Thani probably means absolutely nothing to you. But if you even remotely like classical music, maybe it should. We'll get back to him in just a moment. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, the Apostle Paul wrote these words, "What then is Apollos? What is Paul? Servants through whom you believed, as the Lord assigned to each. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth." Or you may have a translation that says, God gave the increase. I would suppose that pretty much anyone watching this video has heard of Paul, the Apostle Paul, previously known as Saul of Tarsus. Many, maybe not quite as many, but many have heard the name Apollos and recognize him as a biblical figure as well, although not as well known. Paul, of course, was on center stage, if you will, in the early days of Christianity. He was the missionary. He was the one who wrote about half of our New Testament. He was the one right front and center. But here Paul says that Apollos also played a key role. He watered, to use Paul's words. He's not as well known to us 2,000 years later, but here was Apollos who had a role to play that seemed important enough to Paul to mention, and that for sure made a difference in the early church. Now, what does that have to do with Il-Port Al-Thani? Well, you've likely never heard of him, but you may have heard one of his close associates, Tchaikovsky. You see, Il-Port Al-Thani was a conductor and was given the role of being the first conductor to lead several of Tchaikovsky's orchestras, symphonies, including the 1812 Overture. It took Tchaikovsky's genius to write the score, but it took Al-Thani's baton in leading the orchestra to bring it to life for the first time. You may think that what you are doing in the place of the life of the church just is not important, that nobody notices, but it is valuable and it is important so long as it's done to the glory of God. It takes all of our talents, it takes all of our abilities, and it takes all of our willingness to do all the good that we can in our world to the glory of God. And so today and every day, let's keep our central focus on doing everything we can to God's glory, even if we may feel like we're in the background a little bit and may never be remembered by history. But God knows, and God cares, and God will give the increase.